Hello everyone. Today's a new day, new life, new beginning, and new lesson. Once again, I'm teacher Angie. Our lesson for today is about finding the product and quotient of a function. Bago tayo magpatuloy ay pag-aralan muna natin or i-review natin ang function which is related sa topic natin ngayon. So functions that are given as equations use the f of x notation. So, pag ang pinag-uusapan natin ay function, tapos nakasulat siya sa equation, then gagamitin natin ang function notation. Example, f of x is equal to 5x plus 8. Describe the function of f that takes an input x. Multiplies it by 5, then add 8. So this one is, this f here means function of f. And with the input x. Okay? So this x here is our input. Ito yung mga numbers na usually given. Or whatever the value that we choose. And then, ang 5x plus 8, eto na yung gagamitin natin, which is our output later. Ang f of x is our output. Okay? Remember, the x alone here is the input, and the whole f of x or function of x is our output. So to solve for 5x plus 8, yung x dito, which is our input, will be changed. So, substitute natin siya, whatever the value of x that we choose. So, we will discuss that more when we have our example. Next, the function f of x is equal to 5x plus 8 can also be expressed as y is equal to 5x plus 8, replacing f of x by y. So usually when we solve the output, which is f of x, we're talking about function, so we simply change f of x by y. Because when we make a table, we only use x and y. Most especially pag nag-graph tayo. Hindi tayo gumagamit ng f of x, but simply y. But that y, when we talk about function, that is the f of x. Next, the variable x is called the independent variable because it can be assigned any of the permissible numbers from the domain. So, ang domain natin is x. Okay? So, as I mentioned a while ago, x is usually given, whatever the value of x that we choose. So, x can stand alone. And the variable y is called the dependent variable because its value depends on x. Meaning to say, we cannot compute y if the value of x is not given. So y depend on x. That's why we call it dependent variable. Okay? So, let's proceed now to our main lesson. Find the product and quotient of the following pairs of functions. So we're going to use the input f of x is 1 and g of x is 2. For our operations, so multiplication, we have f times g of x and f divided by g of x. Or we can also write as f of x times g of x and f of x divided by g of x. So for our solution, first we need to copy the given. So for our given number 1, we have f of x is equal to 8x minus 4. And the x here is our input. So what are we going to do? Since x is our input, we will change now x by 1. So we have now f of 1 is equal to, again, for this 8x minus 1, x will be changed by our input 1. So copy 8 multiplied by the input x 1. So we have 1 here minus 4. So following the order of operation, we will perform first 8 times 1, which is 8, minus 4. And 8 minus 4 is equal to 4. Therefore, our f of x or f of 1 is equal to 4. And for our number 2, we have g of x is equal to 2x minus 1. Again, for our input x here, we have 2. So we will change now x into 2. So we have g of 2 is equal to, again, copy the constant 2 multiplied by the value of our input x, which is 2, minus 1. Following the order of operation, multiply 2 by 2 first, which is 4 minus 1. So 4 minus 1, we have 3. Therefore, our g of x or g of 2 is equal to 3. Now, we can get the product by multiplying f of x times g of x. So our f of x is 4 and our g of x is 3. So we have 4 times 3 is equal to 12. Therefore, our product for f of x is equal to 8x minus 4 and g of x is equal to 2x minus 1 is equal to 12. And for our division or quotient, we have f of x divided by g of x. So since we have already the result of f of x, which is 4, then divided by the result of g of x, which is 3. So 4 divided by 3 is equal to 1 and 1/3. Okay, so easy, right? So this is the easiest way to find the product or quotient of the given pair of functions. So I'm going to teach you the other way around. Using the same problem, we're going to use the other solution. Kaya nang sabi nila, pare-pareho man ang problema, magkakaroon tayo ng maraming solusyon. So, ito ang isa sa mga solution kung paano kunin ang product or quotient of a given pairs of function. So for our solution, for the product or multiplication, we have f of x or f of 1 times g of x or g of 2. So I already put the input. So remember our input for f of x is 1 and for our input for g of x is 2. So I already put it here. Then, of course, since it is multiplication, our given is for f of x, we have 8x minus 4 times our g of x is 2x minus 1. After that, we're going to substitute the input. So for our f of x, we have 1. So 8 times 1 minus 4 multiplied by our g of x, which is 2. So 2, copy, multiplied by the input 2 minus 1. Next, following the order of operation, we will do first the product. Okay, so remember we have braces here. We use brace or braces because we already use parentheses inside. Okay, next, so 8 times 1 is 8 minus 4 multiplied by 2 times 2 is 4 minus 1. Then 8 minus 4 is equal to 4 and 4 minus 1 is equal to 3. Then 4 times 3 we have 12. Therefore, the f of x times g of x is equal to 12. So which is the same with our previous answer. Next, for our division or quotient, we will have f of 1 or f of x divided by g of x or g of 2. So they are the same. The only difference is the operation, which is division here. Next step, we're going to change the value of x by their respective input. So for our f of x, we will use 1. So 8 times 1 minus 4 divided by, copy the constant 2 multiplied by the g of x, which is 2 minus 1. Again, following the rules of operation, we will do first the product. So 8 times 1, we have 8 minus 4 divided by 2 times 2, 4 minus 1. And 8 minus 4 is equal to 4 divided by 4 minus 1 is 3. So 4 divided by 3 is equal to 1 and 1/3. Therefore, our f of x divided by g of x is equal to 1 and 1/3, which is the same with our previous answer. So it's up to you which is easier or better. So if you want this one or the previous one. Next pair, we have, so for our solution, copy first the given. So we have f of x is equal to 3x squared plus 18x plus 21. And again, for the input of f of x, we have 1. So we have now f of 1 is equal to 3, and then change the value of x by 1. So times 1, and then copy the exponent 2. Plus, copy the constant 18 multiplied by the value of x, which is 1, plus 27. Following the order of operation, we will do first the exponent. Therefore, we have f of 1 is equal to 3 times 1 plus 18 plus 27. Why only 1? Because 1 times 1 is 1. Following the order of operation, we will do first the product. So 3 times 1, we have 3 plus, copy 18 plus 27. And 3 plus 18 plus 27, we have 48. Therefore, the f of x or f of 1 is equal to 48. And for our number 4, g of x is equal to 6x plus 18. So again, we will change the input x into 2 because our input for g of x is 2. Therefore, we have g of 2 is equal to, change the value of x into 2. So we have 6 times 2 plus 18. Following the order of operation, we will do first the product. So 6 times 2 is equal to 12 plus 18. And 12 plus 18 is equal to 30. Therefore, the g of x or g of 2 is equal to 30. And solving for the product and quotient, so for the product first we have f of x times g of x. So for our f of x, we have 48 and our g of x is equal to 30. So 48 times 30, we have 1,440. So this is our answer for the product. And for our quotient or division, we have f of x divided by g of x. Then substitute the result of f of x, which is 48, and the g of x, which is 30. So 48 divided by 30, we have 1 and 3/5. Okay, for our next pair, we have number 5. F of x is equal to x cubed minus 216. So first, we're going to change the value of x which with our input 1. So we have f of 1 is equal to, so change the value of x with our input 1. So we have now 1 here, and then copy the exponent 3 minus 216. Following the order of operation, so we will perform first the exponents. So 1 times 1 times 1 or 1 cubed is equal to 1 minus 216. Subtracting bigger value from a lesser value, we will be having a negative sign. So 216 minus 1, we have 215, and the value is negative. So the f of x or f of 1 is equal to negative 215. And for our number 6, we have g of x is equal to x minus 6. So substitute the value of x with our input 2. So g of 2 is equal to the value of x, which is 2 minus 6. Again, subtracting bigger value from a lesser value, we will be having a negative sign with our answer. So 6 minus 2, we have 4. So our sign is negative. So our g of x or g of 2 is equal to negative 4. So finding the product, we will be having f of x minus g of x. So our f of x is equal to negative 215 multiplied with our g of x, which is negative 4. So multiplying both negative, the answer will be positive. And 215 times 4, we have 860. And for our quotient, f of x divided by g of x, so we have negative 215 divided by g of x, which is negative 4. So dividing both negative, we have a positive answer. And 215 divided by 4, we have 53 and 3/4. That's all for today. I hope you learned something from this video. Bye and see you again. Thank you for watching. Please do subscribe. Keep safe.